Hey Drafted Nation, Brett Gonsalves here with my Drafted Season 5 co-finalist, Mr. Andrew Corey. How are you, Andrew?
Good, man. How you doing, Brett?
I'm doing great. You and I are both huge basketball fans.
Yes, we are.
And with the NBA season just around the corner, we wanted to get together to put a season preview for you fans together.
The big thing we want to talk about is playoffs. We want to jump there right away. We want to talk about what teams are going to fall off, maybe some of our sleeper picks, and then, of course, what teams are going to finish at the top of the West, the top of the East, and even what two teams are going to meet in the NBA Finals. So, Brett, what are your teams that, maybe one team that's going to fall off for you in the West?
So one team that I think really overachieved last year were the Denver Nuggets. With a new GM, a new coach, it's going to take a long time to get back to where they were. And I may go so far as to say that they're going to miss the playoffs.
I fully agree with you. I think that the LA Lakers have also overachieved, and that we got Kobe coming back from an injury. We have an aging Steve Nash, even an aging Pau Gasol. I don't think the Lakers will even make the playoffs this year, and their future is looking sketchy. The Clippers are the new team in town.
Needless to say, the Lakers are a complete mess.
Yeah, they are. They really are. So who's your sleeper pick for this year?
So obviously with those teams falling out, we
Okay.
both think that there's a couple new teams that are going to jump in. And I look at the Portland Trailblazers. Damian Lillard was a stud last year.
Yes,
They
he
have
was.
a beast in LaMarcus Aldridge. They drafted another guy like CJ McCollum who's going to play very well with Lillard. And I think all of their young guys together are going to mesh well. They're going to fight it out for the 7th or 8th spot.
I agree with you. I think that the Dallas Mavericks, they're my sleeper pick. As long as you keep the ball out of Vince Carter's hands, this is him rolling down on his moped. Because he's
60-year-old
so
Vince
old.
Carter.
Yeah, and I hate his guts. But I still think the Mavericks are going to be strong.
Interesting. So we'll jump over to the East.
Okay.
Same thing. There's always a couple teams that are going to fight it out that nobody expected. And a team that I really like is the Washington Wizards. I think if healthy, John Wall and Bradley Beal make a very dynamic backcourt, and they're ready to jump up into the top tier of backcourts. They just added Marcin Gortat by trade, and they have a really well-rounded team, and I really like them to fight out for one of those playoff spots.
I don't know if they're going to finish. I think they're going to be like that 9th or 10th team.
Like
I think
the Raptors every year.
Yeah, like the Raptors every year, although I think they'll finish a little bit higher this year. The team, this is my bold sleeper pick, is the Charlotte Bobcats. That's right, folks, the Charlotte Bobcats. I think adding Big Al is going to help them. They have that defensive presence. He's going to go 18-10 in games with Kemba Walker and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. I think the Bobcats could make a push at that 8th spot. That's my bold sleeper pick. How about your team that's falling off in the East?
So in the East, I had several teams. I think last season was very chaotic, and I think everybody will agree that the Bucks are a mess.
Yes.
They completely blew up their team this offseason. They lost both Brandon Jennings and Monte Ellis, and I think they're a shoo-in to fall down.
Agreed. I think that the Celtics have done the same thing. They've blown it up. I think they're just going for the Wiggins lottery, apparently.
Contrary to the Bucks, though, I think the Celtics have a clear-cut plan for the future,
Yeah.
and they're looking good in the years to come,
They
but not
do.
this season.
They have young players, but I think they're going to be a little ragtag, and I don't know how Rondo's going to fit in with all these kind of random players and
It's
egos
going to
and
be
whatnot.
really interesting to see.
Could be good for Kelly Olynyk, but I think the Celtics are going to suck this year, but might be good in the future. So, are we moving on now to the top 4?
I think so. Let's get into it. So starting out west,
Okay.
I like the LA Clippers to battle the Golden State Warriors
Ooh.
in the Western Conference Finals. What do you think?
I think the Clippers are going to be right at the top. I think they might have the best record in the West. You can't write off the Spurs, though, ever.
Okay.
So who is in the finals? Or who are your top teams in the East, and then who makes the finals?
I think we both agree in no particular order. The Heat, the Bulls, the Pacers, the
Yep.
Knicks, and the Nets, 1 through 5.
Yeah.
They're up there. Consistency all the way through. They're going to be strong.
Agreed.
At the end of the season, I look at the Heat, and I think that they're going to take their foot off the gas a little bit because they know what to do in the playoffs. They know that they can get there, so I think they're going to finish maybe in the 2nd or 3rd seed. I think Derrick Rose has a huge chip on his shoulder. When he's healthy, he's, I think, the best point guard in the league, and I think he has a lot to prove. So I think the Bulls are going to finish with the best record. Coming out of the East, though, in the finals, in the Eastern Conference Finals, I like the Pacers to upset the Heat.
Ooh, that is bold. I fully disagree. I think the Heat are not only going to win the East, I think they're going to three-peat. I think they have the right pieces, the right role players. If Greg Oden has at least a decent season, the Heat are strong. Danny Granger's questionable. Derrick Rose, questionable. You have a couple wild cards. The Brooklyn Nets, even with all the egos on that team, and a brand new coach in Jason Kidd questionable. So I think the Heat are a lock as your Eastern Conference finalists against the Clippers in the finals. You have in the finals.
Two completely different teams. The Golden State Warriors versus the Indiana Pacers. I think the last 2 years, the Pacers showed that they can almost compete with the Heat. And I think with this year's additions, they feel that they're right up there and they can take that next step. So I have the Indiana Pacers knocking off the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Championship.
Well Drafted Nation, do you think we're right? Do you think we're crazy? Hit us up on Twitter using the hashtag GilletteDrafted. Thank you for following us. For Sportsnet 360 and Gillette Drafted, I'm Andrew Corey. This is Brett Gonzalez.
Take care, Drafted Nation.
Bye, guys.